Risen from the ocean by the will of a powerful undead dragon, Or no longer stands under human control. The beings roaming those lands are twisted, perverted remnants of Or's once magnificent culture. Drowned by magic and then raised into service by the will of a monster so terrible there are only whispers of its nature, they now serve a dragon, more horrible and powerful than any other being in Tyria. The Elder Dragon of Or rules this re-emerged continent with an indomitable will, claiming the peninsula for its own. The city of Arah, where once the true gods walked, rose to the surface to become the creature's home. Its arrival heralded a time of cataclysm and change for the world. Though Arah lies in ruins, conquered by the dragon and its minions, those who venture into Orian soil say they have seen her spired towers, bedecked with rotted banners and guarded by twisted, draconian troops. When the dragon awoke and the peninsula breached the waves, once ruined buildings and shattered coastal highways rose above the sea as well. In addition to drowning the coastlands of Creta and flooding Lion's Arch, this cataclysmic event even turned parts of northern Alona green again for a time. The changes were truly cataclysmic across all of Tyria. Only the greatest of heroes dare venture within the ruined cities of Or. To adventure there is to face the dragon and its minions directly, and that creature's power is not to be underestimated. Alrighty then, guys, it's the big one. We're not going to do some massive preamble today. I'm really excited about this video. What we're about to experience is, in my opinion, some of the best that the core personal story has to offer. It's so cool. But we are going to see a couple of things. So we came home to the Grove. Turns out at this point in the game, not just the Sylvari, but every race in the game will come to the Grove. The Sylvari are kind of unique in that distinction, in that everyone will end up coming here. There's not a moment in the story where every one of all the races goes to consult Queen Jenna. There's not a moment where everyone goes to consult Smoda the Unflinching with his Claw of the Kana up at the top of the Imperator's core in the Black Citadel. There's not even a moment where everyone goes to consult the Captain's Council in Lion's Arch, despite the fact everyone congregates there, and that really could have been a cool part of the story. No. It's the Pale Tree and the Sylvari. So here we are. We're home. As Caraflower, we are more than familiar with this area. I'm standing at the Laurel Merchant because I did want to show you something. That's our home over there. Not too far away, we do have, I've told you about these before, the various houses and gardens and things. But you might not notice, we've seen this Rooty Tunnel before. I think I started a video up here. A cool little area over there. But in this area where we buy the cultural weapons, this is where the Warden stuff you've been seeing Caraflower's been using has been. As you actually move through the back, you'll notice that this house has got a lot more to it than most. And it opens into quite a large room back then. We can speak to Litonia.
Act with wisdom.
Who says, we have to do something, Caraflower. They've banished Garrett from the Grove for 10 years. They say he stole something from firstborn Kahedins. He's been caught stealing before, hasn't he, we ask. And she says, yes, but banishment? That's extreme. And I don't want to leave the Grove. He wants me to go with him, but I can't. We have to do something. So remember, there's so many of the Sylvari you find here at the Grove are so naive and young, and they don't understand the world fully just yet. There's nothing to be done. He grew his own garden. So I guess that's a Sylvari way of saying he made his bed, now he has to lie in it. But what we find here is a...
Anything interesting happen?
Where to begin? The squirrels are nesting, and there's a turf war going on between the crows and gulls.
And you're not dead from all the excitement?
Great. I don't think I've ever heard that before in my life. That's fantastic. They are laughing so loudly. So basically, what we find is an interesting side of the Sylvari here, which is what they do with their criminals. They're young, they're new to the world, so what do? You know, what do they consider barbarism? What is the difference between the Sylvari imprisoning people here and the Nightmare Court imprisoning people? You know, do the ends justify the means? All these kinds of questions they have to answer for themselves, and you can see that they're playing around with it in a truly gorgeous room. So few players know that this exists in the Grove, but it is a prison of sorts, and you can see, look, they've got Nightmare Courtiers hidden in these giant cells. It would be kind of cool if we get to see these again in new content and we maybe get hidden in them. Here they got a husk, which we know are the machinations of the Nightmare Core, or something to do with the darker side of the Sylvari. We got a warden there. Over here, they've caught a red Hylic. Remember, the red ones are bad, and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, he's not very nice. Speaking of other players, there is one in here. And I just love kind of the ambience in this room. And lastly, there's this Sylvari who's actually just... Were they just released?
I'm delighted to see.
It looks like you've just been released, my friend. That's kind of cool. But anyway, so it's the Sylvari jail, and I wanted to show off just this other little side of the Grove before we go up to speak to the Pale Mother. You guys probably know a lot of other cool little areas of the Grove that are as yet unseen in the LP. But hey, whenever we get an excuse, I'll come and I'll show you just a little something new. Alright, so we got to go to the top. Now, I could take the plants, but instead I think I'm just going to use the Asuran waypoint, the upper commons, and we'll warp to the top. You'll notice that I didn't get a loading screen. It's kind of funny. The way that Guild Wars loads stuff is it does it in vertical slices. So everything is loaded right now that I'm standing at, and below me, and below me, and below me. So you don't tend to hit loading screens when you go up and down. Kind of funny. I think you can if you go far enough, but this isn't necessarily too far from the floor, even though it feels like it is. Okay, so let's go up to the Omphalos chamber and speak to the Pale Tree, asking for her advice with Traherne out outside once again. Alright. Here we are. So you see we don't really have too many to speak to. The, oh my god, the seed pod goes back down. That's kind of cool. I didn't realize that they did that. That's really, really awesome. I suppose if another Sylvari wants to come up, then they have their opportunity there now.
Pale Mother, we seek your wisdom.
Bide a while. I have much to show you both. Come to me. Let me show you the way.
So she's already got an idea. She seemed to have an idea knowing that we'd be here. Traherne, what's going on, man? All right, I don't think we're supposed to speak to him yet. I think we just go straight to the tree first. Hello, Avatar. What's going on?
Mother Tree, I am sure by now you have heard of the destruction at Claw Island. Zhaitan is attacking in force.
The soul of Tyria mourned as her children were cut down by the beast. The land wept, and the world shuddered.
My friend and I seek to right that wrong. We wish to fight Zhaitan and take back what was lost. We've come to ask your counsel.
The answer is at the heart of Tyria's future, and your own. Both of you must face the darkness, become guiding stars in the night.
Is it even possible to defeat Zhaitan?
Only with great courage. Come, I will show you a vision of your future, and the challenges to come. It is time, my brave friends. Your future awaits.
Oh, so check it out. Step through the portal into the Pale Tree's vision. Remember how she sent Kaith into the dream? We'll check it out. So, she says you must soon enter the vision and gain a glimpse of what may be. Now, because we are playing Caraflower right now in this instance, not an Asura, not a Norn, not anything else, so quite a lot, actually, of the dialogue here changes. Because some of those other races have to learn what the dream even is at this point, but we already know, so we get, like, different stuff. So we say, what do you mean vision exactly? How is this a glimpse of what's to come? All we've heard is how difficult Zhaitan is to take out, and here you are quite brazenly saying we can do it. What do you mean? The portal before you, it's back there, by the way, that's the portal. The portal before you is a passage into the dream. There you will see glimpses of the past, the present, and the future. So, just to be 100% on this, this is not using the mirror to go to Ore. We're getting a vision of Ore based on what the dream understands of it. And it's even like got some timey-wimey stuff here, it seems. Is this like the time you sent Kaith into the dream before I awakened? Remember, this is very difficult for me, she says. Go swiftly and learn all you can. I'm guessing that's her saying yes. I think the community's pretty much settled the fact that she's saying yes there, but it's like they maybe skipped a line or something. I'll make haste, Mother. Thank you. What will I see if I go through the portal? Or as it is and was. And some sense of how you may restore it, I hope. Well, that's Traherne's job, really. Scenes of the past that may impact your future. Will I be in danger, Mother? Life always holds danger, Caraflower. Show courage and you will persevere. Wow. Will you and Traherne come with me? Traherne will accompany you, and I will be with you in spirit. So, I mean, what is the pale tree here? She talks about Tyria mourning as the people were attacked at Claw Island. Here we can see just how invested she is in this fight. So yeah, she's going to show us all. We're going back, guys. Traherne, now we can get this dialogue. He says, the pale tree wishes us to enter the dream. It is a dangerous honor. And we say, what do you mean dangerous? And he says, the dream is not reality, Caraflower. It's made of memory, aether, and powerful magic. Even I do not understand it. And remember, the pale tree has the avatar of the tree claimed she didn't fully understand it. She was just a shepherd of it, really. She didn't control it. How is that dangerous, exactly? The things within are as real as you or I, and they will seek to do us harm. I question if I'm ready to see such truths. I'll be with you. I remember that, Caraflower. Thank you. So this line that they can harm us and stuff, I feel like that's kind of a bit tropey. You know, it's like, oh, we need to have some risk, some stakes. I don't know how harmed we really can be here. How harmed can saplings be before they're born into the world? But we're going to go in there. And yes, we're Sylvari, but just bear this in mind. Any race could go through this portal to see this glimpse of the dream now. So, yeah, I guess that's about it. The one other thing I want to tell you, because we're going to have some fighting in there, is I told you last episode we're checking out corruptions. Well, what I also want to try out now is the scepter. So, we are going to get rid of our dagger and equip a scepter. And we've never seen this. So, we've got 3 new skills we can look at. And Scepter is very much condition damage oriented. In fact, we're going to run Scepter and Dagger. Remember how these two I told you have lots of condition damage? Dagger offhand. So Scepter main hand, Dagger offhand, and we get kind of a cool Condi setup with lots of corruptions. So that's what we're going to be doing while we're in the dream / or / the past / the future. All right, in we go. A light in the darkness.
War is a dark and foul place. Even though I have been here, in truth, this vision is unsettling. Let us hurry. The pale tree has lessons yet to be revealed.
All right, so our job is to follow the pale tree through the vision of Or.
They say that Or was once beautiful, a nation to rival Kryta, Ascalon, and Ilona. The human gods lived in the city of Arah, and the people here were blessed. After the gods left, the humans banded into guilds and warred upon each other. The guild wars caused great devastation, and the nations faltered.
All right, so basically, as we travel around with Traherne here, this time, because remember, before when we came in with Carrot and Tegwin, Traherne didn't come with us, but Traherne knows this place, and he's going to explain stuff to us. So he's talking there about what all was. The people living here being blessed, living in the great city of Arah. We're not at Arah right now. Arah is like the capital, the center of the nation. We're not there. But yeah, he's talking about how amazing this place was and how the guild wars kind of caused all this horrible stuff and turbulence. So yeah, look, we can see undead just sort of ambling around. This is a noble, a risen noble, guys. A noble of Or, perhaps? But now they're just a shadow, just a vision that wanders around, ambling, raised back by Zaitan. So these things at least won't hurt us. Look how we open up into a big plateau here in a second. And the avatar of the tree is waiting, as you can see. She's over there.
Where does this road lead, Mother?
To the ancient city of Arah, the dragon's stronghold. That is your goal. Along the way, you will glimpse things that may yet come to pass.
All right. Okay. Oh my God, there's an abomination here. Jesus. So we're on the road to Arah here. A vision of will we walk this road one day? That A-bomb just wandering past. It's so creepy just being able to see them in their kind of ghostly form and not even paying any attention to us. Did Traherne's dialogue change? It did. He said, hurry, Caraflower. The mother tree cannot maintain this shard of the dream for very long. We must press onward. And we can say, wow, is this truly what Or is like? He said, I've studied Or for many years, and I know these paths as if they were of the Caledon. Wow, so at least we're in good hands. We're in safe hands. Who knows where we were before, but now we seem in much more open areas. Where's Zaitan exactly? Well, Zaitan commands his minions from the blasphemed and tarnished city of Arah. It's far to the south. Someday we'll go there and end this. The blasphemed city. Fantastic, because it was such a holy place. Oh my God, we're being attacked. All right, some of them are mad. Jesus, okay. So, it's an Orient skirmisher. Luckily, we have the poison cloud to deal with. So, let's talk about the autos. blood curse, rending curse, putrid curse, bleed, 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 and then bleed and poison. So we're just stacking conditions, heavily stacking conditions on these guys, and they hit us harder. You can see he's actually quite a tanky guy. And we can just slowly kill him through bleeding with the Scepter Autos and a bit of poison on the end. You'll also notice that Putrid Curse also has boon into conversion, boon into condition conversion. That's so important if you play PvP and stuff, really. Usually auto-attacking just on Scepter is so good for killing people because you can just turn all their buffs into debuffs just through autoing. But yeah, so just stacks tons of bleeds with these curses that we lay upon them. All right, Jan, let's keep going. I'm a bit scared now. So, look, there's a Risen Bull. That one will actually attack us. Seems the dream is really kind of... And a Risen Chicken, guys. Oh, my God. And another Orion Spectral Juggernaut. Just these floating, ominous hammers. All right, let's take this one out. Okay, down he goes. At least we get Chahern helping out doing essentially the same kind of stuff. There's a Risen Bull. I don't really want to aggro. More ghosts. You can see on the bottom right, we do once again have a weird kind of mini-map that shows lots of purple on it. Christ, these Orions do not mess around. They really do not mess around. I mean, they're kind of just enchanted hammers. I guess residual magic of this area of the world left everywhere. But yeah, you'll notice that there's lots of purple on the minimap. That's because we're kind of in the dream. It's all hazy. We don't know quite what's going on. But we do at least get a starburst that leads each time to another vision of the pale tree. This time she's down here on the road. And we're just going to keep following the road toward Arah here, really. That's what she seems to want us to do.
These creatures are formidable. Tougher than the ones at Claw Island. How will we defeat them?
Alone you cannot, but with unity, you will find that many impossible things can be achieved.
With unity, she says. Right. Alright, just being 100% sure his dialogue doesn't update. I didn't think it did, but yeah. Okay, so we can kind of wander off the beaten path a little bit, but I'm just scared there'll be like something dangerous waiting and lurking in the corners. Let's move on. Oh, look, there's a strange shadow, and if we look up...
Every day.
Oh, we come to an area called Craven Blight. If we look up, the shadow should be getting cast from a helicopter. Where is it? That's weird. We can see the shadow, but not the actual thing. Look at this. Look at all this coral and stuff. Remember, this land was underwater, so you see all this, like, just stuff. Look how huge this is. This was all once swallowed by the depths. And that's why you can see all this just kind of gross seaweed and nasty stuff here that's now also undeadified. So the road splits here. We can go left or we can go right. The story is telling us actually go to the right. And you can see, what is this? This is not Orion. This is not Zaitan. This is something else. Look at these cannons. Look at these weapons. Aimed out. It's a fortification, guys.
Defenders of Tyria, when Zaitan rose from slumber, the dragon found a long-dead nation and claimed it. The dragon expected the rest of Tyria to be as easily conquered. But we live, and we breathe, and we fight. All races, all orders, and all paths of life stand against Zaitan. The dragon is a fearsome enemy. It wants nothing more than to paralyze us with doubt. But I tell you this, we are not afraid. We will never kneel.
Oh my God.
You feel that? The dragon hears us. To Arah and victory. Is this a vision of the future? Mother, I do not understand. I'm no general.
You must be what Tyria needs you to be, my son. You have more courage than you realize.
Jesus. And look at this. We all go charging through. So really cool trivia here, by the way. One of these ghosts does actually look just like us. I think she might have disappeared already because I was looking at Chahern through the entire story. But one of the people in the crowd listening to that vision of Chahern there does actually look like Caraflower. And we see a vision of ourselves following him as more than a general, as more than a scholar, as a general. Really cool. And look, they charge off. And now the dream is showing us actual conflict. Look at that back there. It's a Risen Giant. This ain't no A-bomb. That's a new variety of Risen altogether. And he is pretty goddamn scary. He knocks down if we go near him, and he will do lots of damage, like A-bomb level stuff. He also throws grubs and poisons and stuff. So you see all these things that are spawning around it? Oh my God, there's an A-bomb over there as well. There's a lot of mobs. We gotta use the pack to take these guys out. But basically, this giant, as long as he's up, he will keep throwing grubs on the battlefield and doing damage. So we're gonna drop plague lands on him and run off. Look at all of these damage ticks. This is kind of bad right now. All of our packed guys kind of got hurt. So we can epidemic and spread all of that mess everywhere. Hide in Shroud and move back towards him. And the idea is we're going to keep the Condi bombs on these guys to get as much epidemic as we can off of them. This is kind of chaotic right now, and I'm really scared of that A-bomb. This could easily kill us right now, by the way, so we do have to be very careful. The other thing is the grubs that the giant throws out are actually technically projectiles. So if we time the corrosive poison field correctly, we can destroy them altogether. Let's spread all of those bleeds out again. Look at all the little numbers we're getting. There you go. See how he tried to throw grubs, but they just dissipated? You might not have quite spotted that. All right, he's getting low. Let's cast Blood is Power on our allies again, because this gives them might as well as us. Transfer again. Oh, yeah. And down he goes. Look at this. Look how hard he falls. Woo. But look at this. There is strength in the races. There is strength in unity. My goodness. Trahan's dialogue is now... No, it hasn't updated. I keep thinking it's going to update. I don't know why. I know that it doesn't, but I'm like, oh, talk about the vision you saw, Trahan. Tell me. I can't help myself. Okay, the tree. Oh, my God. Look at this. Look, there's an airship.
The past taints the future. Our heroes have fallen. They must be redeemed. You are the catalyst. You must bring them together. Heal their wounds.
Okay, and check this out. All right, so now look at this. We're starting to see snippets of other things. Real power in the races. Another outpost, an airship perched over Arah. But also, look at this. The other heroes.
Where were you? We needed you. Snath. I couldn't protect him. I could still hear him screaming.
Someone was going to die no matter what I did. Snaff or my queen. I had to make a choice. You would have done the same. Any of you! If the person you loved was in danger, you would have done the same.
Destiny's Edge disbanded after their loss against the Elder Dragon, Kralkatorrik. To this day, they have unresolved grievances with one another.
All right, Trahan, you got anything else to add to that? I guess not. Wow. So here we can see a little bit of, I mean, what is this? A vision of the part, what these people really feel, what really needs to be said, who knows? But yeah, you get Ritlock and Logan both in the legendary status here. Now, some very interesting trivia for you all. A little bit sad, really, as well. Over the years, the personal story has been updated on very rare occasions. Mostly what happened was around 2013, with the China release, it got, like, hideously broken. And then a bit later, some devs spent some time updating it and getting it back to a reasonable state. However, when they did that update, specifically where they retooled it a bit, they looked at this instance here, and they thought it had too much dialogue in it, and that it was, I don't know, I guess a bit too slow or something. Maybe they'd had feedback from people that they thought it was too much. But what they did as a result of this, whatever their motivation was, maybe we can talk about this in the comments, they cut some dialogue out of this instance. They've shuffled like some of the things that Trahan says and the ordering of his stuff. It's mostly really minor things, but one of the big things, unfortunately, that they cut is at release, you could actually walk up to Ritlock here and press F on him, and he would have, you know, written text dialogue, and you could do it for Logan, and yes, over there, look, you can see more characters. You could do it for them as well, and you could spend a while getting a little bit more out of these characters, canon lore, but now that's been removed. And I don't really know why they did that, because this was always optional anyway. So people who didn't want to play, spend all that time in this instance would have just zerged on anyway to get to more gameplay. So I don't get it, but they removed it. I, of course, have looked online and got it for you. So let's pretend we're speaking to Ritlock here. This is what he says. When Snaff died, so did the world's chance of survival. Logan traded the world for what? Puppy love? I can see where Ritlock's coming from. We can respond by saying, why can't you just forgive Logan, though? And Ritlock says he admits nothing. He regrets nothing. I should never have trusted him in the first place. I can see how annoying that would be, that Logan stands by his decision there. But now let's look at Logan. Logan is just a man that's torn between... He's not a coward. He's torn between two duties, both honourable duties. His queen and country that he sees as a serious threat. And, I mean... this new band of people that he'd been traveling with. As far as we can tell, we will get more details on this, but we could press F on him, and he says, Snaf was my friend. Jenna, I had to choose. Jenna, your what? Your queen? Your lover? What are they hinting at here? What's going on in Logan's head? Maybe a bit of both? And we say, couldn't you have saved them both? And he says they were a world apart. Jenna was trapped in Ebonhawk. Okay, so we've heard about Ebonhawk. It's a human city we've never been to yet in the series. We've never been anywhere near it. It's a human bastion in Ascalon. Jenna was trapped here, this strange town, Ebonhawk. Snaf preparing to fight at Glint's side. Kralkatorrik coming ever closer. And we say, but you could return to the others now to make it right. And he says no. And I think what Caraflower says there is a really good point. He could go back. But Logan's perspective is this. He says, no, I have to protect Jenna. I can't let Snaf's death be in vain. They'll never understand. And that line, I think most people will just fly past, but I think that means so much, really. Like, I don't know about you guys. I've made mistakes in the past, and I've thought, oh, I've got to just double down on this. I can't let my mistake be in vain. I have to see it through. So basically what Logan's saying is if he leaves Jenna now, and she's assassinated by... her enemies by, machinations of Cordicus, if that's what we still believe, any of those things. If she dies when he's not at his side, he's now lost Snaf, he's lost the fight against Kralkatorrik, he's lost everything, and he kind of feels like he has to double down in that. And I kind of get that. Caraflower can also ask, why is Ritlock so angry with you? Why Ritlock specifically? And Logan just says, when I left them, Ritlock took it the hardest. And I, Wood and Potatoes, will just add something here. Logan doesn't really tell you very much there. These two were real bros. So it's like totally betraying your best friends. And, the closer you are, the harder you fall kind of thing, I guess. So, let's move on along the road to Arah, as the gives it to us. Look, here we see Air Sigulkin, their leader, the leader of Destiny's Edge, with Zodja.
It was your responsibility. Snaf trusted you, and you failed him.
I tried to keep him out of danger. I would have given anything to prevent his death.
It wasn't enough. You weren't enough. You should have died, Air, instead of him.
Logan was called away by his queen. Yet Air chose to fight the Elder Dragon. They lost. Glint died, along with Snaf, Zodja's mentor and friend.
And, I mean, Zodja's pissed about Snaf, but you got to remember, Glint died as well. Glint is as the game goes along, especially through the expansions, you're going to learn a lot more about Glint. That's a pretty big casualty there as well. So, yeah, Zodja has lost her, the closest Asura she was to. There were two Asura in Destiny's Edge. They were so close to each other, and one of them's dead. And, Zodja, as an intellectual who believes in the planet, it's very difficult for an Asura to give a leadership strategic position to another race, another person, another race. Certainly not a Norn, but Air was the tactical genius. Air was the leader. Air made the call after Logan bailed to keep fighting. And so Zodja sees that, it can't be any, who cares about the stupid Buka that just ran off and, obviously that was a risk. The risk should have been assessed. It should have been accounted for. Air didn't do her job. So this is why these two kind of really don't like each other. We can press F on Zodja years ago, and she says, Air is useless, and all the others are fools to follow her. I can beat the dragon myself. Watch me. Now, you remember when we were playing as Brack, Zodja was really nice. Of all of the Destiny's Edge characters, Zodja, I got, the nicest feelings of. She was the coolest. But here you see a really vicious side to her. She says, I can beat the dragon myself. Watch me. Can you, Zodja? Will you really let your stubbornness condemn everyone, says Caraflower. She says, I call it perseverance. Don't even try to change my mind. We can also say this isn't what Snaf would have wanted, and she says Snaf would have wanted victory, not useless skin bags. It's a shame we can't be here to ask Snaf about that. Snaf was a hero. He deserves a better legacy than this, we say. And then Air, we could speak to Air. Obviously, her wolf's here as well. This is Garm over here on the side, who won't be speaking here. But Air says, his ghost haunts me. I failed him. I feel so bad for Air. Logan is not sad about what's going on, and that's like annoying in a way, but also, you know, fair play. At least he can be peace with himself. You shouldn't feel sorry for someone who doesn't feel sorry for themselves, right? Same with Ritlock, they're angry. Air is sad. Air is like broken. As for such a powerful character, his ghost haunts me. I failed him. I failed all of them. And we can say, well, you didn't force Logan to leave. How is this your fault? And she says, I created the strategy. I gave Logan the option to leave. I should have forced him to stay. And we say, you can't turn your back on Tira because of one mistake. And she says, leave me. The pain is too deep for words. I love the idea that there's this stoic, like, Norn, that she's not buttering up too much. You hear what she's saying. You don't necessarily see it on her face. You don't see the tears rolling down her cheeks, but you feel it there, you know? Oh, okay. And so that's most of Destiny's Edge. There's one other member, the one that cared the most in our timeline to get them back together. The one we've seen very recently, it's Keith. And what is the dream manifested her with? Foul Lane.
I've tried so very hard. They can't stop arguing. They can't understand that the dragons are more important. They'd throw everything away. I'm alone. I'm tired.
Come back to me. If the world must end, let us spend our last days in each other's arms.
These visions represent a possible future for Destiny's Edge, should they not resolve their quarrels. We need them to reconcile, if we're to defeat Zaitan.
Yeah, so a tiny bit of trivia here just before we speak to these two. Way back before the game came out, or right around the betas, someone actually managed to successfully mine some scripts from the game. And one of the lines that was on, like, this leak, essentially, was a quote from this instance, and it was Keith talking about how she was going to fall to Nightmare. And I remember reading that and being like so hyped and scared and interested in where the plot was going, only to eventually then find the game and realize that that specific line and that reference that I'd seen was like a dream representation and not necessarily what actually would happen. We still don't know what will actually happen, but this specific line I saw actually related to this, and I remember that very, very clearly. I always do. So yeah, we could speak to Keith. In the olden days we could. And, God, she says, I'm tired. And she's, in the dialogue a second ago. Now she says, if I'm to die, let me die by her side, Foul Lanes. And we say, you're the only one who still believes in Destiny's Edge. And she says, and what has that done for me? For Tyria? Nothing. Our fight is over. It's time to face the truth. I mean, it didn't go well in Twilight Arbor. Let's be real. It didn't at all. She went to find she tried to get two of them together. They both abandoned her. She went to Foul Lane, who just gave her visions of her past life, broke her mentally, and then Foul Lane left. We also say, if you go to Nightmare, you can never come back, Keith. And she says, I do not choose this lightly, but Foul Lane is all that I have left. And we say, and how long will that last? When the dragons destroy the world. Funnily enough, so in the update, the devs removed the dialogue for everyone in Destiny's Edge, but I think they might have been a bit lazy about it because they forgot to do it for Foul Lane. So, Foul Lane, at least, you get the original dialogue. Yay, because they were, you know, slapdash, I guess, in their removal of dialogue. Walk away, Caraflower. Keith is meant to be with me ever after. Who are you? I was never part of this worthless little gang. I am the Grand Duchess of the Nightmare Court. She is mine, and I am hers. You are nothing but a vision of Keith's lover, we say. Who are you? You know, any race could be here in this instance.
Where was I? Oh yes, the Guild Wars. Still angry over the loss of Ascalon, the Char struck hard while humanity fought with itself. The Char ravaged Ascalon with searing cauldrons and marched on Or. As hope failed, an Orion named Vizier Kilbron read the lost scrolls and unleashed an ancient curse. The curse annihilated the Char army, but it destroyed Or as well. A cataclysm plunged the nation into the ocean. Everything was lost.
I sat down to listen to him, but then he stopped. The way that this is designed is we're supposed to just run along while he speaks. So as we go along the road, he's given that to us. But so there you have it. That's Destiny's Edge. That's a vision of perhaps things to come, both good and bad. And let's keep on moving. So yeah, Trahan gave us a little bit more story about how this land came to be, what it is exactly. But look, as we come through, we can find all these different NPCs. There are Norn here, there are Char here, Asura, there are Raiders. This guy here called McLean the Minstrel, we will one day in this series get to. He's actually named after one of the music composers and current music composers for the game. But yeah, look, there seem to be heroes here in Or. So we're getting all of these weird, different, like, sides. Let's come... There is a road that runs along the side here. This is the road here. We took a bit of a weird route there. But to continue along... More Risen. There's another camp over there, by the way. You can actually wander quite a lot around in the dream here, but there's no real one that you can press F and get dialogue from. And again, all of this road, we should be hearing about the Vizier and the Char attacking and the place getting sunk.
This is the tomb of the Kings of Or. Walk inside and seek truth, but be warned. The future can change in the blink of an eye.
Alright, so I want you guys to try and hold in your mind everything we've seen in this vision so far. Some things will come to pass, some things will not. Some things are serious hints as to what we need to know to save Or and defeat Zhaitan. Some are not. So now we hear about this tomb. It's a pretty cool place, by the way. In the outside the tomb, can you see these graves? So there's a grave here. And if you look very closely at the graves, I may have to zoom in the editing here. If you look here, that's actually text that we can translate. And there's several of them around. Here's another one. This one's a bit easier to see here. This is all translatable. Now, there's a bit of a mistake from the devs here. This text is, the script that's written here is New Crichton. And the thing with that's wrong is New Crichton was only developed very recently in like the past 250 years. But Or was sunk ages ago. So Or was sunk around Guild Wars 1 times, which was before New Crichton was developed. So it's basically impossible that this specific written language would appear on a grave in Or, because the language didn't exist while Or was above the ground, which is a bit of a shame. There's also, the devs did develop an Orion written text, an Orion script, which they could have used on the graves, but they didn't. So a bit of a mistake from the devs there. It really is just a mistake. But it's translatable, and that's quite fun. These graves specifically as well, I think are quite unique in all of Guild Wars, in that the text you can translate on these graves in Or aren't anywhere else. I think anyway, there might be in some very, very small places. So basically, there's loads of graves, but a lot of them repeat dialogue. So there's only 2 different things you can read. One of them says, and I think that's this one here. Grave of the Scribe, it says. Until the day break and shadows flee. That's all it says, just who the grave is and some quote from them. Until the day break and the shadows flee. I mean, that's a big theme of Guild Wars, really, I think. And so then the other one, like these smaller ones, they're a lot harder to translate, unless there's a big one somewhere. But they're actually a reference to a dev here, so maybe this one down here. This one says, here lies Tirza. She sleepeth with those she loved until the day breaks. And that's what the other grave says. Who these characters were in lore, we don't really know. Tirza is the name of one of the environment artists that have been with the game for and the company for very, very, very many years. Did a lot of work even on the most recent expansion, and has several different references, to be honest. This is, I think, one of her earliest ones. And so, yeah, it's kind of a nice little thing just outside the tomb that I wanted to tell you guys about. Most players will just zerg on past. All right, in we go. We haven't had to fight anything for a while, but they were a bit scary, weren't they? Well, guess what? Obviously, we're going to go in a tomb, and things are going to get a bit dangerous. So we got just regular thralls here. Let's take them out. Let's talk about our next skill as well, I guess, while we're at it. Skill 2, Grasping Dead. Summons skeletal hands to cripple foes in the target area. Also does damage and also bleeds. So remember, our autos just bleed, 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 bleed. The skill 2 here, we can cast it anywhere we like. We'll cast it on these guys. And did you see all these hands ripping up out of the ground? Yeah, they claw at everyone there. They cripple so that they can't move close to us. We're actually dying. These Risen hit really hard. Let's move back a little bit. Hide in Shroud for a second. Pull up. It's not safe in Or. And so... yeah, down they go. So that's Grasping Dead. That's on the Scepter. And again, it's got pretty good range in terms of you can cast it quite far away, and it's a big circle. So look at that. And you can see the hands coming up. All right, around this corner. The defenders of the tomb dealt with. Oh, there's a couple more. So let's take these ones out. Oh, did you see how many bleeds we put on there? Did you guys see that? Oh, it's so cool. Oh my god. All right, so moving along the tombs as well, you can actually see there's all these little side chambers. The Dream hasn't really populated these with anything for us to fight, but rest assured, if this is a real area, this could be quite dangerous when we do get here. There's a statue to the old human gods here. Remember, the gods lived here in Or. there's a statue. I think that's to Lyssa in this tomb. And we will learn later that the Orions revered Lyssa in a great way when it came to death and funerary rites and stuff, so I like that. And in the back, what do we have here? We have a really freaky creature. So we've already seen one weird mob. That was the giant. Well, here's another denizen of Ur. You will not find these outside of Ur, really, okay? This is an Eye of Zaitan. And is it just going to attack us? Is there any dialogue? Oh, God. Okay. Okay, all right. So we have to hide. So basically, these guys do lots of damage. I want to show you what they do a little bit. He's going to cast a laser beam on us. You can see he's floating there, and he's got this thing. Basically, they cast these horrible laser beams that do lots of... There, this here. And we've got to, like, break the beam by moving to the side. So he hits the wall, and then the beam goes away. Otherwise, he stacks massive vulnerability on us, and we got to be really careful. So I'm going to keep hiding like this, because otherwise Caraflower could get kind of ripped up. Oh, my God, go away! Eyes of Zaitan generally can be really risky. While we're fighting him... Oh, God, he's floating all the way over to us. While we're fighting him, I'll also show you the skill 3. This is called Feast of Corruption. So what happens with Feast of Corruption is... Let's spend some Shroud here. What happens with it is it gives you a ton of life force by eating the spirit of your target, and you eat more life force the more range of condies they have on them. So here, look at my life force meter. It's very low, but when I Feast of Corruption here, I should gain a ton. Maybe we missed. Oh yeah, it was obstructed. We missed. It also stacks another condition called Torment. Ow, he hurts. It stacks another condition called Torment on the foe, the more condies they have, right? So I'm going to put Weakness on him. I'm going to put loads of stuff on him here. And now when I use Feast of Corruption, look, we gain loads of life force, and he gains Torment. So Torment is like Bleed, except he takes more damage as he walks as well. So it's like a super strong thing. This is really dangerous. Now that we don't have minions to keep sapping life for us, and we're on a more offensive spec, we have to be a lot more careful about staying alive. So I'm going to keep kiting around here. We can break his break bar soon as well. We do have Plague Glands. In fact, let's cast that, and we might be okay here. So Plague Glands. Okay, good. And we'll hold him in that for as long as possible. There you go. Look at the Condi Bomb just building and building. I'm going to hide behind the stairs here as well. Oh, good. He put the laser on Trahearne instead. Perfect. So you can combo Plague Glands with Feast of Corruption. And the condies will go really bad. Okay, and he's going to go down.
Well done.
Woo! Just in time. Now, if we take a look at his body really quickly, you'll notice what he actually is. That's a risen undead's head there. That's a skeleton. What you'll actually notice is it's an undead floating around in a throne thing, holding a giant eyeball. So what it is it's a crazy minion of Zaitan's that's holding these big eyeballs, and that's actually what their design is. Maybe I can find an image for you and throw you on screen. They're really, really cool, and you don't get many great opportunities to examine them because they're so dangerous. So yeah, I wanted to do that. All right, with the big boss of the tomb dealt with, we can come in, and you find one other spirit. This is the last king of Ur, because Ur had kings, just as Ascalon did, just as Kryta did. This would be King Razor, who we heard about in Guild Wars 1 but never met. And he's going to drop some bombshells on maybe how we can save the day.
To see the sky, feel once more the wind, and the sun. Although my nation is drowned, the slow blood still pulses in its veins. Ur was once the heart of Tyria, so full of life. I was the last of a line of proud rulers. Now my nation is enslaved. What do you seek here? Ur has nothing left to give, save ash and bones.
We came to fight Zaitan. Can you give us counsel?
Zaitan can be defeated, but that will not save Ur. The land must be cleansed of this poison. Seek the source.
Is Zaitan the source, or is there some other poison that fouls Ur? Please, tell us.
Seek the source. Cleanse Ur. Seek the source.
And Trahearne there just scratching his head. I was wondering if he was going to say anything. So, what was that all about? Hold on. Look at these statues. They look awesome. I thought that the Elder Dragon raised the continent.
It was Zaitan, the Elder Undead Dragon that pulled Ur from the depths. The massacre of Ur gave the dragon fertile ground to create its horrific army. Zaitan's power does not end here. In slaughter, its army grows stronger. Claw Island was just the beginning. The dragons are destruction. They will not stop until all life on Tyria is destroyed.
Wow, okay, so Trahan's right. I thought that the dragon raised it and corrupted all the dead that were here. It was fertile ground to give him all of the stuff that he needed. That if we kill the dragon, maybe we can cleanse it all afterwards. But that weird vision, seek the source, he did seem to suggest that there's two separate things going on here. That Zhaitan isn't all to do with cleansing this area. Huh. So try and remember that, guys. That line, seek the source. What might that mean? Well, that's going to plague us for a while. But it's our first little hint as to something greater. Okay, Trahan, thank you for the history lessons. I think I understand this place a lot better now. And it's kind of crazy that you came here for realsies and were able to just wander around without the airship support, without the camps nearby, without any, like, safety of the fact you're just in the dream. Oof. Continuing along the road to Arah now. We can see more of the cities collapsed and piled on top of one another. And we come to a great staircase. Oh, one other thing, by the way. This area here, this was called Azabe Qabar, the royal tombs. So Azabe Qabar, there's lots of really awesome place names in Ur, and I'm going to be really excited to talk to you about all of them. That is actually real world Urdu, the language, and it means, if you translate it, it basically means torment of the grave. Which, as far as I understand, is an Islamic concept of the afterlife. It's like you die, and then there's like a period of time, and then later you go to be judged or whatever. This is like I'm not too good with this, but I think that's the idea. And yeah, the word is the torment of the grave, the royal tombs, and you hear a lot of this kind of stuff with Ur, because the idea is in this fantasy game, the kind of cultures that they're similar to would be those in the real world, you know, whereas Ascalonians draw from other real world cultures. So you hear a lot of these very exotic, cool sounding place names. You know, like they're not wizards, they're viziers, for example. And that just makes Ur feel really rich. There's just so much history here. There's the Orion history, there's the Char invasion stuff, there's while it was under the sea, there's now that it's been raised up by Zhaitan, each having layered a ton of other stuff on. Speaking of some of the Orion stuff, welcome, guys, to the Promenade of the Gods, the last area before you reach Arah, where the gods themselves once lived. A huge, long road filled with stairs rising up to the center of the city. And here we have some statues of the gods. That would be Balthazar.
Your last challenge on the road to Arah will be the Guardian of the Gate. Beyond this, I cannot foretell. Once before, I gave this sword to a beloved son. Now, I pass it on to you, Trahan. Its name is Khalidbolg. Bear it with honor, and the sword will never fail you. Test yourselves against the Guardian, then return to me in the Grove.
Look, he's got Khalidbolg, guys! Yes! So, Trahan becomes, I mean, some of you will have seen this coming, basically Rhiannoch 2.0. Rhiannoch, the Pale Tree's first plan to create an incredible Sylvari that could do some good against the dragons did not go well. And now she has found her new champion. It is Trahan. He gains Khalidbolg after we recover it in the early story. And he is going to use that as a part of the Pale Tree in this fight. So let's climb up through the Promenade of the Gods. You can see all these massive statues here. This is Dwayna, the leader of the gods. I'm pretty sure we're walking past here. This next one is Grenth, I think. Melandri's statue will be nearby. And here at the top are the Narthex with the closed gates to Arah back there. And all these creepy trebs that won't look at us. These preservers, these gruesome hands coming out of the ground. There is the Gate Guardian, our last challenge, where beyond which the Pale Tree can't even see. So, let's take this guy out. Oh, God. And, so, yeah, this guy has tons of knockbacks. So, you want to try and dodge away from him as best you can. Dodging is also obviously giving us regeneration. And, generally, we want to... If Trahan could help us here, he's going to chain CCs on us there. We kind of want to keep away from him. Sadly, he has a break bar. He's actually getting some damage in now. We need to move. Come on, let me get a single skill. All right, we can dodge away. So the cripple won't allow us to keep him away very well. So we have to stay as safe as we can. I'm going to go to Axe to get our shroud. No, he interrupted the shroud. All right, let's try and break his bar just normally then. So let's stack a lot of horrible conditions on him. I'm going to go double blood his power. Oh, no, I can't transfer back to him. That's annoying. It's okay. His thing's almost down. Epidemic, unfortunately, won't be useful to us here because there's nothing to... Oh, come on. I'm not getting a single dodge. Epidemic's not useful here because we can't transfer the conditions to anything else. He is the only target. There's one big badass risen at the end. Yes, we got the dodge finally, guys. We got our elite as well. Let's drop it. Plague Glands. Okay, so Plague Glands. Blood is power. And then we'll transfer. Look at that. Oh, and try and keep him in the Plague Lands as long as we can. Unfortunately, he kited out of it because I moved him out, so we didn't actually get that much damage. Another good dodge, and we should be able to take him down here. Not scared of no Gate Guardian. We can use our Warhorn as well to break the bar too. Another blood is power. Give that to Traherne. Whew, and down he goes. Luckily, we didn't have to fight anything else at the same time.
Once more, you stand on sacred ground. Remember what you have seen. Speak with me, and I will guide you.
Okay, so a little bit of Avatar dialogue there. I think it's supposed to come, like, after the loading screen or something. We're back, guys. We're back. We're safe. We're in Caledon Forest. Lovely. Right. We can speak to Traherne here. Not many players will know this, but if you speak to the tree first, Traherne's dialogue will disappear. But he does have something, and he says, I'm newly inspired. Yes, I mean, look, you got freaking Caledon, dude. This is the iconic Traherne look for Guild Wars 2 now that he's got Caledon. There it is. He says, I'm newly inspired, yet I feel as if the burden of my wild hunt is growing even heavier. Yeah, he wanted to cleanse ore, and now he's being told to, like, be this ridiculous guy. What troubles you about it, Traherne? He says, I must see ore green again. But how? Can you say you looked upon that place and saw a blossoming future? Truly? The vision wasn't about certainties. It was about hope, we say. So, even more fascinating, this dialogue's really easy to miss. And you only get this if you're a Sylvari. If you're any other race, they'll say, what's a wild hunt? And you kind of get a rehash of what a wild hunt is. But we get this cool thing where we really get to see how much despair he has. So, yeah. Avatar of the Tree. What have you got for us? So the dream says here, I hope that the visions you saw will be of benefit. And we say, was I really in awe? And she says, you were within a dream of awe, composed of memories, fears, and hopes. Hope that one day Zhaitan will be destroyed. Will the things I saw come to pass? She says, there are possibilities, Carraflower. May you find the strength and spirit to craft the future of Tyria and find and discover the salvation of awe. That is a heavy burden. I'll do my best. Well, we get a decision. Wouldn't be the personal story without him. So, she says, Ore has had all hope stripped from it. To confront the dragon, you must first overcome your greatest fear, lest you be consumed by it. Tell me, what do you fear, Carraflower? Alright, so you might be thinking with an RPG, well, what I pick here is going to change things. So, what do we fear? That an innocent person who believed in me would die because I couldn't save them? Does Carraflower really have any fears for that? I don't know. That I would fail so grievous. I mean, as a Sylvari, do we really care that much or understand that much about death yet? That I would fail so grievously that I'd lose the respect of my comrades and be dishonored? Does Carraflower really fear that? I don't know. That one day, through my actions, I'd condemn someone to suffer in agony. And I think Carraflower can see and empathize a lot with that. I think she would be scared of that. I think she sees that in Air. She sees that in Kaith. She sees that in the victims of the Nightmare Court. Maybe even through some of her earlier stories, she's seen that. So, yeah, I think this is Carraflower's greater fear, that she would condemn someone to suffer in agony. Your heart is courageous, says the Pale Tree, but also kind. Hold fast to that, Carraflower, and remember that mistakes can be repaired, if you are strong enough to face them. Thank you, Pale Tree. I'll remember your wisdom.
To know the future, even the mere possibility can be a great burden. I am sorry, brave heroes, that you must walk this path.
Must these things come to pass, Mother? Must I take up Caledbolg and travel into the heart of Ore?
You must both take up this mantle. Traherne, your duty is to cleanse Ore. Your friend shall aid you, and then face the dragon.
And Claw Island. Can we retake it and save Lion's Arch?
I believe so. But that will not be your first test. The dragon seeks to destroy its enemies before they can strike. I see within the dream that Zaitan's forces enter battle, not against Lion's Arch, but at the heart of your order.
My order headquarters? No, how could that be? How could Zaitan even know?
Those who have been corrupted reveal everything to Zaitan. Nothing is secret, least of all those places where his enemies hide.
If my friends are in danger, I have to go to them. They have no warning, they'll be slaughtered.
I will go with you. Our fates are bound together, and from this day forward, we fight as one.
Farewell, valiant souls. May your wild hunt be successful, and may your courage illuminate the dark of night.
Wait, what? So hold on. Zaitan attacks Claw Island, sends a force to Lion's Arch, and he's realized that the orders are working against him? Oh my god, well we have to go save them. The Priory assailed. Let's get there. Toot sweet, guys. We gotta get back to the mountains and fight.
I appreciate your rescue, but you have your own journey. One that leads beyond Divinity's reach.
There are dangers that threaten you here.
There are dangers that face all of us, Logan. All of our world. There are things only you can do.
You're right. So much has been left unfinished. Much to make amends for. I should go.
And I will be waiting for your return.
Well, damn. You have rescued Queen Jenna. Here's Zodja. She says, Logan has his queen back, but Uzalon is dead. I wonder who he bought Snaf's discoveries from. Yeah, that's pretty major, right? Aren't you worried about Logan, we say? She says, Logan? He talks well, but I don't believe him. That sad-eyed moon calf thinks of nothing but his queen. He'll be back here in no time. Wow, she really doesn't even believe that this is a change for him. What happens next for you? Next, I'll hunt down those who sold Snaf's discoveries to Uzalon. No one steals my mentor's creations. Who sold the stuff then? Last we have Mia. I'm here to help the truce between human and Char, but I miss my warband. Well, that's the same dialogue from the start. You would have thought they'd update that too, but I guess they didn't in the end. And the Queen, we don't even get to have a little recap with. She's just basically bailed out. So this gate opens, and this loops us back to where we were when the dungeon began, as you can see there, guys. So that's Corticus Manor.